Today we are here with Brendan. And Brendan, tell us your story. How did you get started into coming to craft show like this?
I'm Brandon with Man to Man Soap. For a while, like, men are a little bit different when it comes to skincare. With soap, we don't really like all the fluorine, kind of weird feeling things on our skin that most women do. From a young age, we're taught to just get the nice cheap stuff. Don't worry about how your skin's going. What I did is I developed a recipe that's you're feeling clean, it smells more masculine, and your skin is actually being taken care of. You're not having to worry about any regular skin issues. I've had estheticians look over my recipes and they like it quite a bit with the oils that I use. The good thing about my soaps is that they last a long time. They can last anywhere from a month. I've got some customers that last 6 months for just one bar. So I've made a product that lasts, that men and women do like, and it's trusted by all.
And how did you get started? How did you come with the idea?
Well, let's just say I use body wash. I got really tired of using loofahs, and so I went to a bar soap. I had a mail order one and used it. It was all right. I went through it quickly and I was like, I could learn to do this. And I practiced, tried different things, and came up with my recipe. And I've even gone back to that mail order one, and they have filler oils and filler products in it, and it makes my skin itch. It's like crazy. And I went through I wanted to use something that I love myself, not just trying to sell something that sells something. I wanted something that everyone loved, and it works well. So.
And how you've been doing this for 4 years, you say?
4.5 years. So this summer it'll be 5 years. I've been doing markets for a year now. Still learning everything. You're always going to learn something. But with my soap bars, I come with seasonal scents, and I've got my standard line. Sometimes I come up with different series as well. So like I got a slasher series, super series, and a fantasy series.
So, I mean, that's pretty good stuff. One thing that I struggle with as a vendor myself is when I go to market, sometimes you can sell a lot, and sometimes you might go to a market and you barely make the booth fees. Mm-hmm. And part of the problem that I struggle with, I don't know if you struggle with that, is knowing how much inventory to bring to a market. How do you balance that out?
That is a great question. My first market is probably the one I made the most at. And I brought everything. I had a lot of things. I've got a lot of different flavors for the soap, so I kind of go as I make them. I actually do bring most of my inventory to the markets. I can fit it all up in my truck and bring it to the markets. Luckily, soap doesn't take too much room. The biggest thing that takes the most room is my setup. That takes up the most room. But going to markets and meeting people is really trying to find the right type of market, your niche and everything. If I was going to go to a women's conference, I wouldn't be selling that much, just mostly because of the name of my soap. And women, yeah, they prefer a different type of scent. If I went to a comic convention, I can do well with my fantasy series and my super series. But these kind of markets like here, it's got almost everything. I do well. I think the biggest or hardest things to learn is selling and talking to the customers as they come up. Last market I was at, I had men stopping to kind of look at it. They're going to go look, and the wives were pulling them away. That was really hard to see. And trying to get them, and then like the next day I kind of really introduced them as like commenting on them, and like when they're looking at it, say, hey, I know you want to smell this bar, or pick something out to help bring them to your booth, not just have them walk by and expect them to stay here.
Perfect. I mean, I have a question for you regarding that. Is there anything you do to make your booth look special when you go to market? Like, is there any decoration you put in your booth to make it appealing to people to just stop by?
Definitely kind of the ones I looked at says I want it to look more masculine type thing. So I've got black as the things. My other colors is yellow. Yellow is an attention getter. As you know, McDonald's means immediate. Kind of my shelves are black and yellow. More neutral colors, but it helps kind of stand out a little bit. It's a little bit taller, not too basic, doesn't look empty. And I've been working on, that's something I've been working over the past years, how my booth looks. These shelves I just barely built. This is the second event that I've had them on to help it make it look more organized, so it's not just like I'm throwing everything onto my booth.
Perfect. And regarding my question I asked you earlier, like some markets you go to, you don't make any booth fees. How do you deal with that? You know, I think a lot of vendors, when they start going, they get excited about making cupcake or making jewelries.
Yeah.
And you know, they go to a market, they realize, oh, no one cares about your cupcake, and they barely make the booth fees. I mean, what would you tell to a vendor so they don't stop? I mean, they don't quit. I mean, how do they overcome that?
That is definitely a hard thing. I've made or I've had an event where I didn't make my booth fees. So I'd say the biggest thing when you're first starting out, start at the smaller booths. Don't be sitting there spending $300 for your first booth. Start smaller. You know, the hardest part is very disheartening when you don't make your booth fees, when you're not selling the product. Luckily, I have an online store, so I can also sell it online. But coming to booths with a positive attitude, usually it's kind of hard with soap, is trying to get your name out. I'm just happy to get my name out, and then I'm making some sales. They will come back to me. Luckily, they always do. But it is disheartening. Sometimes you just need to look at your booth, see what are other people doing, make a network. There's always other different soap companies at booths, at markets, and I go talk to them. I just see what they're doing, what works for them, and just talk with them. You know, it's all about exchanging, helping them out, helping yourself out, and it's always a learning experience. I bet a year from now, I'm probably gonna think I was a complete idiot today. Who knows? So it's more of every booth, learn from something, learn how to talk to people, learn how to set up, learn how to have fun with your neighbors, and get to know the event coordinators very well.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I tell other vendors as well is we are not each other enemies. If more vendors can post the flyers on their Facebook page, if more vendors were to post on their Instagram, that's more potential customer that might see the event that might come.
Yes.
So I don't see, like I sell candle, I never see another candle person as my competitor. I just think they have a customer base that might like my stuff. So
Yeah, that's the thing is you make candles a different way than another competitor or another candle maker. You know, it's all about what the customer is looking for, how you present it. Of course, if you have candles or soaps, make sure they can smell it. If they have jewelry, make sure they can kind of see how it is. The person next to me has got mirrors for their necklaces. It's about how the customer perceives you. That is always what sells, is what the customer perceives you as.
perfect. Let's change gear.
Okay.
Let's talk about a boutique etiquette. I know some market when I apply to, the host is usually say, you have to arrive early. You cannot take down before whatever the market is in. What do you think about that? Because my experience is, me and my wife, we try very hard not to take down until if it's 7 o'clock or 7 o'clock, and we usually have a good outcome. Usually a person is walking, leaving, and they shop they just buy something. Or I had a positive experience with that. Do you feel like vendors should be more in line together so we can work together? Like, hey, come on time, don't come in the middle of 30 minutes after the market is already open. I mean, what is your take on that?
I'm very strict on that. I think you should be on time or early. Stay till your designated time. It's been proven if you have an empty space next to you, you do worse on the sell. If you have someone setting up while the booth is open, customers are going to skip you. It's already been a proven fact. You can see other vendors on TikToks or other social media, I guess YouTube now, Instagram, that they talk about how they had a disruptive person right next to them and they lost sales because of it. If it was just someone that was just really on time. It's also respect to the host. They've gone through and done all this work for them for you to do your business. The least you can do is respect them to show up early, communicate with them, smile with them, talk to them courteously about any issues, and then leave when you designate time. The time that I did not make my booth fees, the host said, "Hey, if you want to get out early, that's fine. I know you're not doing well today." And I says, "No, I hate that kind of people. I'm gonna stay, help you out, whatnot." And I actually made more money too. I got more sales staying. That's the thing.
So, what is your take on people? I mean, you make those, you homemade those, right?
Homemade.
What is your take on people that are coming to craft show the product are not homemade? What is your take on that?
I think, are we looking at a particular item that's
Just in general, because
I
I feel like it's craft show, homemade. I think, in my opinion, I guess it should be homemade. That's what craft show come to mind, because it's craft. You're making something. What is your take on that when you see
It kind of can depend on what it is. I know a lot of things are like Funko Pops. People are reselling stuff. There's certain areas where you can and can't do that. For this particular one, it's a market and craft fair. If I saw someone with Funko Pops or reselling that type of thing, I would kind of frown on it, but it's really not hurting my business per se. There are some things that are flooding the market, like if you have 3 of this one item or multiple subjects like 3D printing, it can kind of hurt everyone else's business. So if you're just kind of buying stuff and reselling it, and you have other people that are selling the same thing, but they made it, you are kind of hurting their sales and their environment. But for soap, I don't see anyone really for buying it online and reselling it.
Perfect. Do you have any last sort of advice for a vendor that that is on the sideline, I want to do this stuff but or afraid to join?
Definitely do your research. Figure out a layout for your booth. Do that at home. Do presentations. Look at what's posted online. Talk with people. If you're thinking about doing it, go to a market. Talk to other people of your subject. Some of them might be a little worried that, like, oh, you're selling the same thing as me. But you can talk to other people of other subjects. It's like, hey, I'm thinking about doing tarot card readings, and I'm kind of wondering what event organizers to avoid or what really works with something. What the locations are. If it's in a mall or if it's in a bookstore, really do your research. Plan ahead, figure out how much money you're going to need, and just start small, work your way up. I did notice there's a market or a vendor over here that looks like they're starting out. They've got some baked goods just lined up right there. Cool. I want to go buy some stuff from them. It looks like it's lined up, cleaned very nicely. It's not scattered. It's not disorganized. And I think it looks like they're starting out, and I think they'll do well.
And where can people find you?
I'm on mandamansoap.com. You can go Mandaman Soap on any social. So that's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, everything.
All right. Thank you, my man.
Thank you.